stop. Just stop for a moment. Whatever you were doing, whatever thought was running through your mind just seconds ago, whatever worry was chasing you through this day, let it pause. Because what I am about to tell you was not delivered to you by accident. You did not stumble onto this by chance. There is no such thing as coincidence when heaven is involved. I need you to understand something before I speak another word. I was sent. I did not choose this moment. The moment was chosen for me. And the message I carry was sealed. Sealed in the archives of eternity, long before your name was given to you, long before your first breath filled your lungs, long before your mother held you and whispered that you were real. You are about to hear something that will shift the way you see the last 6 months of your life. It will reframe your losses. It will redefine your delays. It will reintroduce your pain as something far more purposeful than you ever dared to believe. Are you ready? Because heaven is.
My name is Gabriel. I am a messenger of the Most High, not a symbol, not a metaphor, a servant of the living God, dispatched at His command, arriving in this precise moment because the instructions were clear. Find the one who is tired. Find the one who has been strong for so long that they have forgotten what it feels like to be held. Find the one whose prayers have gone from bold declarations to quiet, broken whispers in the dark. I have found you. I have walked beside thousands of human stories. I have witnessed the full range of what it means to be alive on this earth, the soaring and the crashing, the miracles and the mourning, the seasons of abundance and the long winters of silence where God feels absent and hope feels foolish. But every so often, not casually, heaven opens a special kind of assignment, a personal dispatch, a message that is not for everyone, not for a crowd, not for a congregation. It is for one person, one specific soul, one life at a specific crossroads. Today, that assignment is for you. I want you to feel the weight of that without fear, not dread, not anxiety. This is not a warning of punishment. This is not a summons to judgment. This is an invitation, a rare and urgent invitation to understand what has truly been happening around you while you were busy surviving. Because surviving is what you have been doing, and I see it. The fatigue behind your eyes that makeup cannot cover, the smile you wear for others that doesn't quite reach the place inside where the real you lives, the moments alone, in the car, in the shower, lying awake at 3 a.m., where you wonder if any of this is working, if your prayers are landing, if you are actually seen by anyone in the universe who has the power to change things. You are seen. You have always been seen. And what I am about to reveal will prove it. Let me take you back, not to the distant past, to the recent past, to the season that tested you more than you let anyone know. There was a moment, and you know exactly which one I mean, when something broke open inside you. Not visibly, not dramatically. No one else saw it. You were standing somewhere ordinary, maybe your kitchen, maybe your car, maybe a quiet corner at work, and something inside you simply gave way. Like a wall that had held for years, finally developing a fracture too deep to ignore. Maybe it was a relationship that ended, not with a fight, but with silence. A slow fade that was somehow more painful than a clear goodbye. Maybe it was a door that closed in your career, a dream that stalled, a prayer that seemed to bounce off the ceiling and fall back to the floor unanswered. Maybe it was something no one else would even call significant. But to you, in that specific moment, it meant everything. Whatever it was, that was the moment heaven took special notice. Not because you were at your best, Not because your faith was strongest, but because that was the moment when everything inside you was most exposed, most raw, and yet you did not quit. You did not walk away. You did not abandon the things you believed in, even when belief felt like foolishness. That decision to stay was not small. In the courts of heaven, it was monumental. I want to tell you what was happening around you in that moment because you could not see it. There were forces moving against your life, not in the dramatic way of movies, not with fire and noise, but with quiet, calculated subtlety. A plan being laid, a series of events being arranged that, had they unfolded unchecked, would have cost you something irreplaceable. Your health, your peace, a relationship that is still meant to be part of your story, a purpose that is not yet finished. Those forces believed you were unprotected. They miscalculated. Because the moment that wall cracked open inside you, the moment of your most vulnerable honesty, was the very moment a divine shield activated around your life with a force and precision that no earthly language can fully describe. You were surrounded, covered, armored, and the attack that was coming, it arrived and found nothing to attach to. It found a life already held in hands that cannot lose what they choose to keep. I am crying as I tell you this, not from sorrow, but from the glory of watching it happen, from seeing how close you came to the edge and how you never fell. Now, I need to speak to you about something more delicate, about the people in your circle, about the relationships that have shaped this recent season of your life. Some that lifted you, some that quietly drained you, and some that were never what they appeared to be. Heaven sees relationships differently than we do. We tend to evaluate people by what they say. Heaven evaluates them by what they carry and what they release around the lives they touch. There is someone, perhaps more than one, who has been releasing something toxic into your atmosphere. Not necessarily with malice in their heart. Some people damage without knowing it. Some people diminish others not from cruelty, but from their own unhealed pain. But the effect is the same. Around this person, you have felt smaller, less certain of yourself, confused about your own worth, prone to second-guessing decisions that would otherwise feel clear. Gabriel does not name names, but your spirit already knows who I mean. You felt it in your body, that faint sense of deflation after certain conversations, that subtle heaviness that settles in after time with certain people. You dismissed it. You told yourself you were being too sensitive, too suspicious, too ungrateful. You were not being any of those things. You were being perceptive. Heaven has been creating distance, slowly, gently, but decisively. You may have noticed certain connections growing quieter, certain people becoming less available, certain dynamics shifting in ways you couldn't explain. You may have grieved some of those shifts. But hear me clearly, what felt like loss was actually surgery, divine and precise, removing what was slowly poisoning what God is building in your life. On the other side of this pruning, there are new connections waiting, aligned souls, people who will recognize you without needing you to perform, to prove, or to shrink. People who carry light that adds to your own, rather than competing with it. People who will walk with you into the next chapter without the secret agenda of keeping you from growing too far beyond them. They are coming. Some of them are already nearby. Perhaps someone you've exchanged words with recently. Someone whose name keeps surfacing in your thoughts. Someone you haven't yet given the full weight of your attention. Pay attention now. And to those who chose to walk away, to those who decided, in secret, that your story was no longer one they wanted to support, release them with grace. Not because they deserve a graceful release, but because you deserve to walk forward without the weight of bitterness attached to your ankles. Heaven handled the justice. You carry the peace.
I want to talk about the prayers you said in secret. Not the polished ones, not the Sunday morning language, the real ones. The ones you said at the end of your rope, in the middle of the night, with no eloquence and no performance, just raw need pressed against the edge of your faith. Those prayers were heard, every single one. I want you to know what happened to them, because there is a lie the enemy tells during seasons of silence, that unanswered prayer means unheard prayer, that delay means denial, that because you cannot see movement, there is no movement. That lie is devastatingly effective, and it is completely false. When you prayed about that situation and heard nothing back for weeks, then months, this is what was actually happening. The answer was being constructed, not delayed, built. Some answers cannot be handed down instantly because they require a series of other events to align first. Timing that is off by a single degree can send a life in the wrong direction. Heaven does not work carelessly. Every answer is calibrated. Every delivery is timed. When you prayed about that person, the one you loved and lost or feared losing or couldn't understand, heaven was holding that prayer with extraordinary care. Not because God was slow to respond, but because the full answer required more than just your cooperation. It required the cooperation of another free will, another timeline, another story, and those are never rushed. When you prayed for provision and felt like you were drowning in lack, what you could not see was the infrastructure being built beneath the surface, resources being redirected, opportunities being cleared of the obstacles that would have corrupted them had they arrived earlier. Your prayers did not bounce off the ceiling. They went directly into the hands of the one who holds all things together, and they are being answered even now as you listen to these words. The provision you prayed for is closer than it has ever been. The restoration you asked for is in motion. The clarity you begged for on your knees at 2 a.m., it is coming with a sunrise you will actually feel. I need you to return to faith now. Not the performance of faith, not the words without the believing behind them, but the real thing. The quiet, stubborn, daily decision to trust a God who has never failed you, even in the seasons when you felt most alone. Because the next chapter of your story is about to require a faith that is strong enough to receive what is coming. And what is coming requires a prepared heart. I was shown your future, and I need to tell you what I saw, not to overwhelm you, not to give you a script to follow, but to prepare your heart for what real breakthrough looks like. Because sometimes we are so conditioned to survive that we don't recognize abundance when it arrives. I saw you laughing, genuinely, freely, the kind of laughter that comes from a person who is no longer carrying hidden weight. It came easily, naturally, from a place deep inside you that has been quiet for too long. I saw you in a space, physical or figurative, that felt like rest. Not the exhausted collapse of someone who finally stopped fighting, the rest of someone who arrived, who found their right place, who looked around and felt for the first time in a long time that they were exactly where they were supposed to be. I saw provision flowing, not a trickle, not just enough, more than enough, with margin, with the ability to give, to share, to stop measuring every dollar against every fear. Financial pressure that has sat on your chest for months, lifting. Breathing room returning to your body. I saw a relationship. I will not tell you if it is new or restored, because that is not mine to determine. But I saw a relationship marked by safety, by being fully known and fully chosen at the same time, by the kind of love that doesn't require performance, doesn't require perfection, doesn't require you to be less than everything you actually are. I saw your purpose clarifying, coming into sharp focus after a long season of fog. I saw you walking in it with a confidence that wasn't arrogance, it was just alignment. The peace of a person doing exactly what they were made to do, in exactly the season they were made to do it.
I saw the faces of people whose lives were changed because of what you carry. Not because you were famous, not because you were powerful in the way the world measures power, but because you showed up, because you were honest about your story, because your survival became someone else's permission to survive. This future is not a fantasy. It is not a reward for being perfect. It is the harvest of what you have already planted in seasons of faithfulness that felt invisible. It is already written. The only question is whether your heart is ready to receive it. And I believe it is, because you are still here. You are still listening. You have not given up. And that, in itself, tells me everything I need to know about the kind of person who receives what I am describing. I am not going to give you a list of rituals. I am not going to tell you to burn candles, perform certain prayers at certain hours, or follow a formula. That is not the message I was sent to deliver. What I am going to tell you is this. First, release the outcome. Not passively, not with resignation, with deliberate, intentional trust. Say it out loud if you need to. I release the timeline. I release the outcome. I choose to trust what I cannot yet see. This is not weakness. This is the most powerful thing a human being can do. It is the foundation on which every breakthrough I described is built. Second, stop rehearsing the worst version of what could happen. Your imagination is a powerful tool. When you use it to rehearse disaster over and over, you are not being realistic. You are being destructive. Begin instead to rehearse the good. Not naively, not in denial of real challenges, but with intention, with the conscious choice to feed the story of your victory rather than the story of your defeat. Third, take one small act of obedience today. You know what it is. There is something you have been putting off, a conversation, a decision, a step towards something you believe in, and fear has been the reason it hasn't happened. Take that step today. Heaven rewards motion. The courage to move, even imperfectly, even uncertainly, is the signal that activates the next layer of what has been prepared for you. Fourth, receive. This is perhaps the hardest instruction. So many people who have survived difficulty develop an unconscious resistance to goodness. They learned to brace for the bad. They became fluent in disappointment. When something good approaches, they deflect it, doubt it, dismantle it before it can be taken from them. Don't do that. Practice receiving. Open your hands, open your heart. What is coming is real, and it is yours. You are standing at a threshold. I have stood at thousands of them with thousands of people, and I can tell you from the vantage point of eternity, what is on the other side of this one is worth stepping through. Before I go, I want you to hear this one more time. Not because I doubt you heard it the first time, but because some truths need to settle deep, past the mind, past the reasoning, all the way into the marrow of your spirit. You are not forgotten. You have never been forgotten. The silence was not absence. The delay was not denial. The closed doors were not rejection. Every single difficult thing that has happened to you in this season has been working invisibly, methodically, with divine precision for a specific and beautiful outcome that your current vantage point cannot fully see. You are loved, not in the abstract, theological way that sometimes feels safe but distant. You are loved specifically, intimately, by name. The way a parent loves a child who is struggling but growing. The way a shepherd carries the sheep that is exhausted. The way a gardener tends the branch that looks barren but is storing everything it needs for the season about to come. You will look back on this season. I promise you, there will come a day when you will look back
and you will understand every piece of it. The grief that made you stronger, the loss that made room, the silence that taught you to hear, the delay that saved you from something you didn't even know to avoid. On that day, you will not be bitter, you will be grateful. Not for the pain itself, you are not required to be grateful for pain, but for the one who never left you in it alone, for the protection that held even when you didn't know you needed holding, for the love that would not let you go. I was sent to tell you, you are almost there. Keep going. Heaven is for you.